Hello everyone, this is Sean here. Today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on Gardens of the Moon. I buddy read it with many of you all. Malazan is a different thing. Everyone says it's challenging and it's 10 books long. It's a big endeavor. It was okay. I would say, well, I'll get into that. Forgive me, I do have some notes with me because I don't want to forget anything, and I also don't want to just like ramble, because I will do that. So just overall, it ended up not being awful, but it wasn't great in my opinion. In this one man's opinion, it was not great, but there were things I liked, and there were some things I didn't like. So I'm going to start with some things I liked, and we'll go from there. Erikson, I feel like overall, his writing is very like, this is what happened, this is what happened also, this is also what happened. But on occasion, I love the Kindle highlighting feature, so I'm going to read some things. On occasion, he would actually, I feel like, kind of step up the writing a little bit. So this is, I believe, in reference to Anomander Rake, if I'm saying that remotely right. And it's from Baruch, his perspective. And it says, as his gaze rested on it, Baruch almost reeled, saying, for a brief moment, a vast darkness yawning before him, cold as the heart of a glacier, from which came the stench of antiquity and a faint groaning sound. I really like the stench of antiquity. I don't really know what that smells like, but I like the phrase. And I think it might actually be referring to his sword, Anomander Rake's sword, because it like takes souls basically. There are moments, I think there are 19 moments actually that I highlighted, where I really liked his writing, and the rest of the time it kind of just felt like, here's this information. Side note, another time I really related with a character is when Crocus said, I don't even know what we're doing out here. Won't anybody tell me anything? It's literally how I felt reading the book part of the time. So with that out of the way, writing style, once again, not my favorite, but I can see, I've heard his writing kind of develops in the future books. I can see him becoming someone, you know, there's definitely snippets of writing that I really like. So that is a pro. So now we're going to get into three different things. I put down world, magic, and characters. And then after that I have spoilers. We'll start with world. I liked the world more at the beginning, oddly, because a complaint that I myself and probably many others, or a pro, depending on, you know, if you like it, but you're really dropped right into middle of everything and you have no idea what's happening. But oddly, I found that part of the world more intriguing. It seemed so foreign. It did not seem like it was a Lord of the Rings ripoff. I liked that. Some other things he had, I'm going to butcher these, but just interesting races he came up with, like the Tiste Andii. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. The Moranth was another race where I was like, I don't know what those are, but, you know, inventive. And the Jag Hut. Now, I will say, the thing about the Moranth that kind of bothered me was I could tell that they were something new that he had come up with, but I really had no idea what they looked like. I mean, if anything, I can kind of vaguely say I think they had, their armor was kind of maybe insect-like, you know, and they had flying beasts, and they had like different, kind of like a class system maybe based off colors, or maybe their army is broken up into colors. But I think that'd be one of my complaints, because there's like this vast, amazing world. He oddly doesn't take any time to like describe anything about it. And then as far as the world goes, I felt like the crazy original good part of it disappeared as soon as we got to Darujistan, because that just felt like, once again, kind of every other, I shouldn't say every other, but a lot of other fantasy books. We had like the council with the mages, we had the thief, the naive young thief, we had the Assassin's Guild, and it just, that stopped feeling original to me. Okay, so magic. Let's talk about magic. People can just do anything and whatever they want, whenever they want, without any reason. It's funny, I think before reading this book, I used to be like, I don't care about magic systems, I don't need to be explained, and I take that back because, man, people can just, like I said, do whatever. Without spoiling too many things, we had kind of one of the big bads just possess somebody at will. You know, his current body is like, oh no, I'm dying. And then he just like possesses somebody miles away. Okay, my question is that because of his race? He's a different race, he's not human. Can all of them do that? Is it because he's a powerful mage? We don't really know. There is a metal, an ore, I think it's like otaterol. I should probably check these things before I try to say them. But you can just like sprinkle that dust on you and you're impervious to magic. You can make a sword out of it and then the sword's impervious to magic. I think that should be talked about a little bit more because I would be buying tons of that stuff in that world. Is it rare? I think they talk about it being like mined, you know, in some hills, probably the same hills as, you know, otaterol, you know, something like that. I would be having tons of that stuff. But I don't know if it's easily accessible. Anyways, soul shifting, I kind of said that already, but, you know, it seemed hard at first. Like it was like a really big deal when a certain character became a puppet. And then another character does it and it seems super hard. And then, like I said, the person at the end was just like, I'm just going to possess this guy miles away without any problem. Kind of crazy. It's just so unclear. Like, we're kind of just told who's really powerful. Like, I'm trying to stray away from spoilers, but the big bad, you know, if you will, at the end, who's going towards Drujistan, we're told he's like super powerful. And he seems pretty powerful. He does, you know, he takes out other mythical beings that should remain nameless. But we're also kind of just told that Animander Rake is, you know, he'll deal with it. It's fine. You know, he might be weakened, but he's really powerful too. I'm like, well, I mean, how though? Like, how? There needs to be like, I feel like there needs to be explanation. Like, because we're also kind of told like, oh, Tattersail is pretty powerful too. And this person's pretty powerful. I'm like, who's not really powerful? Well, Crocus. That's the answer. Crocus is not powerful. All right, so and then characters. My question, did we need all of them? I'm sure fans who have read the entire series will say, yes, every character is important. And that could be true. I also challenge it though, because I just feel like some of them, I didn't need to have a perspective from them. They could be like periphery. I could be like, oh, that's what they're doing through the eyes of someone else. Maybe I'm more familiar with. Like, did I need 2 or 3 parts with Marulio? No, not really. Crocus is worthless. I'm just kidding. He might end up being important, but he's pretty worthless. It's not that the amount of characters bothered me, it's that the amount of point of views. I don't think we needed all of those characters. Not every character needs a point of view. One other thing that if this is your thing, you'll dig it, possibly, and if it's not, you won't dig it. I feel like this is the ultimate who do I root for book. In a way, because you get so many perspectives, you're not told who's good, you're not told who's bad, you're not told who's like morally gray. It's kind of just, here are these characters. Follow them enough where you might have some favorites. I personally, there's a few that like, if they died, Crocus, I wouldn't care. But at the end, we do have some colliding forces, and I'd be like, oh, I kind of like that guy. And I kind of like that guy. And I kind of like that girl. But they'd be, you know, on different sides. And I would be like, man, I don't really know who I want to succeed. Because, I mean, they've got a, you know, good point. Or not, if not a good point, at least I like them. I'm like, oh, but I kind of like them over here. So, if you're into that, I would say it's very good at that. I mean, I wouldn't even say any character struck me as particularly evil or particularly good. They just all have their missions. I mean, they're told, like, this is what you have to do. Go do that. And they're like, aye. So, couple spoilery things. There's actually things that annoyed me. Perrin sees Tattersail as a 5-year-old. And she eventually, cryptically, says, like, oh, you'll see the woman you loved again. The woman who died. Basically, something like that. And he's like, oh, Tattersail? Okay, I don't have a problem that after that big hint he got it. It's the 2 or 3 or 4 paragraphs before where he first sees this 5-year-old girl. Let me repeat that. 5-year-old girl. And it's like, the way she walked and something about her face. Here it is. All right. There was something familiar about her, a way of walking, her stance as she stopped before him, something in her heavy-lidded eyes that made Perrin frown uneasily. She raised one hand as if reaching for him and then dropped it. The captain found he could not pull away his eyes from her. Child, do I know you? Come on. That is nonsense. Second, also relating to Perrin Tattersall. Epilogue, he hears her voice and he's like, oh, that was just my imagination. And then he hears it again, and that is ridiculous. Why is he hearing Tattersall's voice? It's so annoying to me. So, I don't know. That was kind of lame, in my opinion. This is another thing that I thought was weird. So, we're kind of amped up about the Jaghut tyrant. Like, he's gonna come destroy Darujhistan. Dragons just burn him. And Anamander Rake is like, I might have to enter the field and fight the Jaghut. I may not come back, or I shall be severely weakened. And we're all like, oh, our greatest champion. So the dragons are burning the thing, and then it's like, I'm burning. And then it zaps over into Mammoth's body, and then Mammoth is just going to town, like incinerating people. Then, through a combination of Quick Ben and I think it was Fiddler and Hedge, one of them just like shot him with an explosive. And that was it. It was clarified. They destroyed that body, and then the Azinth, something like that, that like took the soul. So it wasn't just, you know, he could have popped over to another body, another mage, and kept going to town, but like the Azinth interfered. So I understand that, but it was really built up that this thing was the bee's knees. Like he was going to destroy everything, or Anamander Rake was going to have to fight it, and bad things were going to happen. And then kind of this other force that we weren't told about at all just comes out of nowhere and is like, meow, I got you. The other thing that I thought was weird was after that, it's like, okay, well, the big bad thing is gone. Lauren releases another big bad thing. She releases a demon into the streets, and then Rake is like, a great demon. I may not make it back alive. Does that mean it's as strong as the Jaghut tyrant? Because that's what you're saying earlier. I just didn't know what the point of the demon was. It seemed like we had our big fight that then kind of sizzled out and Rake wasn't needed. And I was like, oh, that's kind of surprising. And it felt like it was like, oh wait, we need him to fight something. There's also a demon. And that was weird to me. So Crocus is worthless, and I'll tell you why. He didn't add to anything. And then at the end of the book, he like throws away the lucky coin, which means he's even more worthless than he was before. And if he still survives after getting rid of the lucky coin, I'm going to be really irritated because nothing's protecting him now. Also, Kaladin Brood protects him. Why? I want to know why. What's so... Well, at the time, he had the coin, but now he doesn't. So, looking forward to hopefully a Crocus death here. So that's my review. Anyways, thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day. Drink some coffee if you miss National Coffee Day. And we'll find out what Elliot thinks of the book. I have a fair guess, but I have not seen her review yet, so stay tuned.